Hello, my name is Chip Gregg. The last name spelling is Gregg. Along with my wife Kathy, we own the Last Dollar Inn in Cripple Creek, Colorado, a house that was built in 1898. Now, when we bought the house, we knew it had some ghost history in it. There's a book published called Haunted Inns that details some of the ghost stories of the Cripple Creek mining district. Now, something a little more current than that, I have here the Pikes Peak Courier-View, dated Wednesday, October 26, 2011, so just last month. And in it, it has Cripple Creek ghost tales, and in this area right in here, there's a couple paragraphs about our Last Dollar Inn here. Now, since we've been here, we've owned it about 4 years. We've had 3 paranormal investigations, and all 3 of them have had what you can only call would be some interesting findings. But I don't want to go into the details of their findings or their investigation. What I would like to do is tell you 2 stories that have happened to me. And to get right into it here, one of them was, we have a cat and we try and keep him out of this side of the bed and breakfast just for hair and allergy reasons. So we hadn't seen the cat for a couple hours, and my wife Kathy said, "Chip, could you go find him for me?" And I said, "Sure." So I came into this room here, and this is Linda Goodman's room when she actually owned the house. So I came in the room, and standing over here, I bend over, look over here behind the bed, turn my head, look into the bathroom, and no cat. So I stand up to turn around, and I felt a hand stroking the top of my head. Now, we had nobody staying with us at the time, so I turned around. I was going to say, "How did you get in my house? What are you doing here? You need to leave." Of course, when I turned around, there's nothing and no one here. So I put my feet in the same position, and I bent over like 6 or 7 times. Nothing happened. And I started waving my hands around, feeling for either a breeze or a cobweb, and again, nothing. So I started shaking my head as hard as I could, trying to get my hair to flop, but it was actually shorter than it is now, and my hair didn't flop. So I kind of stood up here for a minute or 2, and I was wondering if I should tell Kathy, because I didn't really want to freak her out. So I go downstairs, and she was in the kitchen, and she turned around and looked at me and just said, "What happened to you?" And that right there told me it was justification that something did happen, because I wasn't even sure if I was going to tell her, and just the look on my face, she knew something was wrong, something had happened. So I told her. We came up here, and there's nothing up here. I put my feet and showed her what I did. Nothing happened. And I would say easily the next 20-30 times I was in this room, I put my feet in the same place and I bent over, and nothing has happened. And I know something did happen when I turned around. I was a little bit mad that somebody could sneak up get in my house and sneak up behind me like that without me knowing about it, but there's just nothing here. Now, the second item I'd like to share with you is, back in February, we had a really cold spell. It got down to minus 20 degrees. And when we don't have anybody staying with us, we keep the heat turned down really low, but we turn the water on in the faucets so that they're dripping, so that the pipes don't freeze. Well, again, it was down to 20 below. I came up here in Linda Goodman's room and I turned the water on a drip. All of our rooms are named, and I went into the Womack room, turned on the water just a little bit. I went into the Feist room, turned on the water just a little bit. and then the DeVere room and turned on the water. Now, to make sure that I didn't have them set too high, I came in and checked the Goodman room, make sure there's no excess of splashing or overflow or anything. Went into the Womack room and checked it, the Feits room and checked, and the DeVere room. So I've been in the rooms twice now. The next morning I came up here, turned the Woodman water off, went into the other 3 rooms, turned each of the waters off. So I've been in the rooms 3 times. Then that night it was supposed to get cold again, down to minus 20 or below. So I came up, turned the Goodman water on, turned the Womack, the Feits, and the DeVere water on. So I've been in the rooms 4 times. Came, double checked for excess of splash or overflow. Came into the Woodman room. Again, the Womack, the Feits, and the DeVere. So in a 24-hour span, I've been into each of the rooms 5 times. So the next morning, came up, turned the water off in here, went into the Womack room and turned the water off, went to the Feits room to turn the water off, and the door was closed. And I don't mean it had just swung a couple inches. It was totally shut, latched, and secured. So, of course, I opened it up, looked around, nobody was in there, nobody was staying with us. Turned the water off and turned the DeVere water off. And I thought, how could the door shut like that? And at first I thought it was the wind, but it would have taken a very hefty wind to get that door to shut. And the 4 years we've been here, before and after that incident, the door's never shut by itself. So my theory, and again it's just my theory, is that whatever was in that room, or is in that room, was telling me, you've been up here 5 times, you're starting to bother me, leave me alone. And again, just my theory. So there's a couple of stories for you. I hope you find them interesting, and thank you for your time.